Let's get into another VHS and memories. Today I'm going to be talking about Rocky 4. I know it's kind of out there, but I've loved Rocky movies since I was a kid. It was a great time. Me and my sister used to watch all the Rockies, but we definitely love 4 the best. I mean, the first one and all that is definitely, and the second one are definitely, better movies at the end of the day, but Rocky 4, I know it's out there with its montages and basically like music videos in the movie, but you know what, we loved it as a kid. Yeah, we would just put on winter gloves and start punching each other and stuff, and yeah, it would just get out of control. My family would be like, what? I think I broke her hand or finger one time, and then a kid that was 6'6" got thrown like into our wall and smashed the wall. Like we had to drywall and stuff, so I think at that point my family's like, this is enough, like no more fighting. But yeah, it was fun. And yeah, we loved Rocky. Me and my sister just watched this Rocky 4. We recently watched Creed 2, that is. I haven't seen Creed 1, and I've seen it once when the movie came out, but I never really liked it. And number 2, Creed 2, I can just say was complete and utter garbage. I thought, like, I hated how they didn't have enough of the Russian from the fourth movie, Rocky 4. And yeah, there's just so much stuff I thought was horrible. The Russian is, Rocky takes on the Russian in Rocky 4, and it's kind of like Apollo's son Creed is seeking revenge for his father. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't like how there wasn't enough of the Russians in it. And yeah, I thought Creed, like, these movies used to be about like manhood and stuff, and now he's like crying with his dead wife and a kid and stuff. It's like, how like estrogen filled is this supposed to be? I thought, like, this is horrifying. Like, this Creed, what have we come to? Like, Rocky, that's what I was like, after I had to watch it, we barely got through it, and I was like, I don't even want to watch this again, so I'll just sit through it. And then I was like, I can't believe how bad that was. It makes me want to watch Rocky 4, so we just put in Rocky 4 the other night. And yeah, Rocky 4, you gotta love it. It has the slow-mo shots. It has so many like flashy techniques for editing, and it's so shiny, and yeah, it's just a great movie. Like, it's over the top, but I like it for a Rocky movie. I like the fighting more, like when they were fighting and stuff. It is a great movie. So yeah, I'll give you a bit of the breakdown. Rocky just reclaimed the boxing championship title in the last movie, and he's planning to slow down and just hang out with his wife and kid and Polly and a robot. But Rocky's friend Apollo Creed wants to do an exhibition fight with this like hulking Russian guy, and he's like a newcomer, Ivan Drago. And yeah, he's a huge Russian. Like, he overpowers these guys, and he's just towering over them, and he's hulking, he's crazy, he's blonde, he's like a man of few words in the movie as well. Like, he doesn't say a lot, but he is just really intimidating. He almost reminds me perfectly of like someone out of like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. Probably, yeah. Just like not a ton of personality, but ready just to fight. And yeah, it just reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, this movie, in a way too. Like, the characters are really strong. And Rocky, like, I haven't seen this in so long. This movie came out in 1985, a year before I was born. So yeah, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, he looks pretty young in this. He looks actually kind of cute when he's like washing his like Corvette or car in his little sweater. I was like, what, Rocky? But yeah, I always loved these as a kid just for the fighting and like, yeah, the attitude. And so yeah, so Apollo Creed wants to fight this Russian in an exhibition match, and they hold a press meeting, and the Apollo's kind of mean to him. I didn't pick up on this as much as a kid, but like, I know they made fun of the Russian at this press conference and made him look like a fool, but like, I didn't know the extent of it. So maybe this Russian guy, because they fight after this, and yeah, the Russian guy like basically kills Apollo. Like, he just knocks him out, and like he basically gets beat to death. It's pretty scary, but yeah, maybe the Russian wouldn't have fought him like that if they like didn't make so much fun of him at the press conference and take him as a joke. Apollo's pretty much over the top confident with this fight, so they end the press conference, and he plans a huge opening show before the fight. It's like, you see the Russian downstairs with like all these cops, and they like bring him up. The ring is being like raised up, and it's like a Vegas show, basically. It's like over the top. There's like people in planes and acrobats and all these dancers and singing, and yeah, Apollo come out, and he's in this huge American like Uncle Sam hat and like kind of like jacket cape thing, and he's dancing around before the fight. He's burning up all his cardio, and like, that's what I never noticed as a kid too. Me and my sister were laughing so hard. It's like, Yeah, he like basically like he probably wouldn't have won the fight, but he burns up all his cardio like dancing and putting on a huge performance before the fight, and he's jumping around like he's like blown out on coke, and like he's like yeah, and he's like putting his arms up in the air and he's dancing all over the stage, burning up his cardio before the fight, and you see Rocky like shaking his head, and he's thinking he's burning up his cardio before the fight. And yeah, it's ridiculous. He burned up all his cardio before the fight. Can you believe it? Like, I never put two and two together before. He burned up all his cardio with this huge acrobats and dancing and singing and jiving and jumping. It's actually really ridiculous. I don't know if that really plays part in it, but when you watch it again, I'm like, me and my sister are howling at this, like, burning up your cardio. And then he gets in the ring with the Russian and like, I think he like hits his gloves on the top of the Russian's gloves and they hardly budge. It's like he's just hitting cement, and like Apollo even looks scared and he looks over at Rocky like just like, oh no, and like yeah, he knows he's gonna get whooped, but he's a man. He wants to go out like a man. He tells Rocky not to throw in the towel, and Rocky doesn't throw in the towel. That's some real bro stuff, So Rocky doesn't throw in the towel, and they go like 2 rounds. The first round, Apollo's basically like in a coma. He's like almost in a coma. It looks like he's like totally knocked out of it. A few more knocks and he'll be in some serious condition. That's what happens. And he just tells Rocky like, don't throw in that towel, and then Rocky doesn't throw in that towel and he just gets stomped, where his brain just gets rattled and he hits the mat so hard. And it's funny because it's not funny, but he hits the mat so hard, and like there's all these reporters, like 500 camera people circling the room taking pictures, and they're screaming, "Doctor, get a doctor!" And like no doctors come. Like, who wasn't someone sued? Like, no doctors come, and these people are like, it's pandemonium, the announcers, and it's just like no one went to help and save Paulo. Like, where's the doctor? Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I guess he dies, and then of course Rocky has to get back in the game. He's got to revenge his friend. So yeah, Rocky holds another press conference against the Russians, saying that they're going to go fight in Russia this time. And this movie, like, it's just so over the top. Like, I love it. Like, even if it was predictable, but it wasn't predictable for me when me and my sister watched it, because we were just kids, and I don't know. I probably knew all movies all ended good, but you just like still had that tension. That's what I found in Creed. It had no tension. Like, this had so much tension, and the action felt good. Like, even if it was in these cheesy shots and like over the top stuff, like, I don't know. There's just something about it that just rings home and brings so much nostalgia, probably, and just I liked old flashy 80s movies, and this is one of them with like so many scenes. So many montages and so many different scenes. Yeah, and like halfway through the movie, my sister went to get coffee, and then we went to the drive-thru. This girl was like, what are you guys up to? Like, oh, we're just watching movies and stuff. And she's like, oh, what are you watching? We're like, Rocky 4. She's like, what? She's like, I'm watching Star Trek. I'm like, oh, I've never seen that, actually. That's true. I'm a old Star Wars fan. Don't want to say I support Star Wars now in any way, but yeah, so we got back with our coffee, so we finished it, and we loved this movie as kids. Like, let me get into that again. Like, we just loved it as kids. It brought out so many good memories. We liked fighting. We liked, stories of struggle, and Rocky was always the underdog. Me and my sister liked that. My sister really liked that. She actually watched more of Rocky 1 and 2 when we were kids because it was more like romantic, but this one is just like about being a powerhouse and stuff, and it's only an hour and 31 minutes, and it goes by kind of quick. Now I'm like, but I like it. They give it a 6.8 on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes 40%, and Metacritic 40%. I can see that. Like, it's a straight up divide, but $31 million movie. So yeah, Rocky 4, and then so after the press conference, Rocky goes to work. They fly to. He takes Paulie with them and that coach guy, and yeah, they fly to Russia and they train, and the Russian, it shows like that it's cutting back and forth of them training, and the Russians training with all this like new technology and stuff like that, bikes to ride, and all that new like 90s workout gear. They got like 30 scientists monitoring him and watching his punch and blah blah blah, even though that's at the beginning too. I think when they're just showing how powerful he punches, they have like 40 I don't even know if it's exaggeration. It looked like 40 doctors in the room, but yeah. And then so Rocky's training like hardcore. He's doing like, yeah, lifting wagons, and he even climbs a mountain. It shows him climb a mountain as like the sun is nearly setting. So it's like, and he's screaming like how he did on the stairs with his arms up, all platoon style. But he's yeah, he's on this mountain, and it's like, the sun's about to go down. It's like, how does he get home? Like, I know in the movie world how he got home, but in that shot, it's like in the movie, story, like, how did he get back? He just walked back from climbing a whole mountain. There's no tigers. Well, I guess he would have just punched him anyways. He's Rocky, but yeah, so after the huge workout, they go to Russia, and like, they open it, Rocky barely gets any applause. No one applauds him. There's nothing fancy for Rocky. And then when the Russian comes in, they drop this huge flag with the Russian on it, and it's like all over the top, and it just like, it shows the Russian smiling, kind of showing like, here, this is where I'm respected, and blah blah blah. And then you get to the Russian and Rocky fight, and like, yeah, it shows some rounds at the beginning. The Russians are actually beating Rocky up quite a bit. Rocky's taking a pounding, but Rocky can just take a pounding, and he does. That sounds so bad. Rocky can just get punched and take it, and he doesn't really get like knocked out. He's still on his feet and conscious, and like, then it shows Rocky kind of coming back and fighting against the Russian, which is really cool. Yeah, then it kind of goes into like another montage sequence of like rounds going by and slow-mo punching, and like some of the funniest punches ever to the face, and all this slow-mo stuff, like back and forth slow-mo while it's like fading over top of each other. Like, you would never see this type of editing now in a movie, but in this movie, it's just classic, and they're going round after round after round till it comes down to like the last few rounds, and Rocky just kind of lets the Russian pound on him, punching him in the face, and like body shots, and Rocky's just like taking it like, and he's kind of like ends up tiring the Russian out at the end, and then Rocky just rattles him. He just goes in for the kill. He's like, okay, now you're tired. He's like, he lays into him, and he's like all inside him because the guy's like tired, can't keep his hands up. And yeah, it's boxing. Boxing's pretty cool. I've been a fan of boxing on and off. I never watched a ton of pay-per-view boxing, and I kind of missed out on the whole Mike Tyson era. So yeah, I mean, I was around, but I was just a kid. I was into Transformers and such, not boxing. But yeah, I wish I was actually into boxing, because like this. But yeah, in this movie, it's fantasy, it's whatever boxing. But yeah, Rocky ends up getting the whole crowd to turn and love on him. Like, is that over the top? They maybe not should have had that. Like, maybe a couple fans were like, Rocky, Rocky, but not like everyone, like the president of Russia or whatever they have in their communist country. But these people get up and clap for Rocky, and everyone loves Rocky, and like this Russian becomes a huge failure, and that's part of Craig too, like, so it's just wow. But yeah, I'm glad that, yeah, you know what, Rocky won. I didn't mind that Rocky won though in this, but it was pretty interesting. I wish they would have made like a Rocky, yeah, like in Rocky 5 there's the street fight and stuff, which it would have been cool, but it would have been nice in this to see Rocky it would have been cool to see, like, in another movie, these guys meet up. Like, they should have done, like, a different Rocky, like, many years, like, in 95 or early 2000s or something, maybe. But maybe it would have worked. This is such over-the-top movie, over-the-top editing. Like I said, I watched it all the time as a kid. I am a huge Rocky fan. Sylvester Stallone, I do like some of the movies that he's in, especially these Rocky movies and First Blood. Not a fan of like a lot of the other Rambo movies, but I love First Blood. That was shot like in Hope in BC, where close to where I'm from, and yeah, it was cool. And yeah, I don't know, there's something about Rambo, and that was on VHS, so I'll have to bring that up. Not Rambo, but yeah, First Blood, the first Rambo movie. But that's a great movie as well. He just kills everyone with a knife and stuff. It's really sick. But yeah, VHS and memories. I mean, my stepdad used to love this movie. My family watched it together many times. Like, yeah, it was just, he got us into it, I think, as a kid, our stepdad. Like, I don't know if we would have seen it really without him, because I don't know if my mom would have been bringing Rocky home for us, right? But, or maybe she was a Sylvester Stallone fan as well, but they both were. So, yeah, makes sense that they would have rented this. Yeah, we watched it too. We're like, yeah, we love Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. But yeah, this movie, let me know if you've seen it or if you watch any of the Rocky movies. I don't know if there's a lot of people talking about Rocky 4, but I'll talk about Rocky 4. I know there's a few, but yeah, it's just like you're either into Rocky movies or you're not. It's like Star Trek. You're either into Star Trek or you're not. But great movie. I don't really know what else to say right now, but I can't believe that I put that together years later, that Apollo burned out all his cardio before the fight, and that's why he basically got killed. But yeah, what a great movie. Definitely a great movie, popcorn movie. If you like old 80s movies, Sylvester Stallone fan, check out the Rocky movies. You won't be disappointed. And yeah, that wraps it up for a VHS and memories.